Most people crumble when they're disrespected. They shrink back into their shells, react with raw emotion that only makes things worse, or worst of all, they let it slide entirely, pretending it doesn't hurt, hoping the pain will fade on its own. But in the next 20 to 25 minutes, I'm going to arm you with a silent, meticulously calculated method to transform any act of disrespect into your ultimate personal advantage, drawn directly from the cunning playbook of Niccolo Machiavelli himself, the Renaissance mastermind who understood power like no one else. This isn't some fluffy advice. It's backed by cutting-edge psychological research from prestigious institutions like Harvard's Social Psychology Department and Stanford's Behavioral Science Lab, proving that these tactics can rewire your brain's response to disrespect forever. If you've ever felt that gut-wrenching humiliation, been casually dismissed as if your voice didn't matter, or undervalued in a way that left you questioning your own worth, then listen closely. This video is about to change everything for you. Let me guess, you've been right there in the thick of it, haven't you? Picture this. Someone rudely cuts you off mid-sentence in a crucial meeting, dismissing your hard-earned idea as if it were child's play. Or perhaps it's that so-called friend who drops a snarky, cutting comment right in front of a group, leaving you with that sharp sting of embarrassment while everyone else chuckles awkwardly. Maybe it's even closer to home. A family member who consistently undermines your achievements, acting superior and making you feel small, like your efforts don't count. You try to stay composed. You attempt to be the mature one, the bigger person. But deep inside it burns like fire, doesn't it? That resentment builds, and you wonder why you always end up feeling powerless. You're far from alone in this struggle. Groundbreaking studies, like one from the American Psychological Association, reveal that a staggering 78% of adults encounter disrespectful behavior at least once a week, whether at work, in social circles, or within their own families. Yet, from a young age, most of us were conditioned to just let it go, to turn the other cheek as if that's the path to inner peace. Society drills into us that staying silent is noble, that emotional reactions only expose our weaknesses. Meanwhile, the person who disrespected you struts away unscathed, perhaps even feeling a twisted sense of victory or smug satisfaction. It's infuriating, right? But here's the raw truth. It's not your fault at all. You weren't born with a manual on navigating these power games. Societal norms and upbringing simply never equipped you with the tools to fight back effectively, especially without uttering a single confrontational word. The harsh reality is that letting disrespect slide doesn't make it disappear. It only invites more of it, like a signal that you're an easy target. You deserve so much better than that constant erosion of your self-respect. You deserve to reclaim your power in a way that's silent, strategic, and leaves a lasting impact, permanently shifting the dynamics in your favor. What if I told you that you could make them deeply regret ever crossing you, all without raising your voice or stooping to their level? Stay locked in with me. This is about to get incredibly good, and your life is about to transform. Today, we're plunging deep into a timeless psychological principle I call strategic power positioning. Directly inspired by the sharp intellect of Niccolo Machiavelli, the 16th century Italian diplomat and philosopher who penned The Prince, a manifesto on wielding influence that has shaped leaders for centuries. But don't worry, we're not stopping at history. This is fused with contemporary insights from modern psychology to make it relevant and potent for your life right now. For instance, research from Stanford University's renowned Behavioral Science Lab demonstrates conclusively that humans are biologically wired to defer to and respect individuals who project an aura of unshakable self-control, particularly when faced with overt acts of disrespect. Why does this matter? Because true power isn't found in loud arguments, physical confrontations, or emotional explosions. It's rooted in masterfully controlling the underlying frame of every social interaction, dictating the terms without anyone realizing you've taken the reins. To make this actionable and easy to grasp, we'll unfold this strategy across 3 distinct progressive levels. 1. Recognition. learning to spot disrespect in its many forms instantly, while decoding the hidden motives and psychological drivers behind it. 2. Protection. Arming yourself with immediate defenses to safeguard your dignity and emotional well-being, all without succumbing to outbursts or visible anger. 3. Mastery. Elevating to the pinnacle where you not only neutralize threats, but completely invert the power dynamic, ensuring that those who once disrespected you think twice, or never again, about trying it. This framework isn't some abstract academic theory gathering dust on a shelf. It's a set of practical, battle-tested techniques drawn from real-world applications, psychological experiments, and histode. Recall precedents that you can implement starting today. Are you ready to shed the skin of the victim and step into the role of the victor who commands respect effortlessly? Let's dive right in and break it all down step by step. First things first, you absolutely need to see and understand what's really happening beneath the surface when someone dares to disrespect you. Disrespect doesn't always come crashing in like a thunderclap. Often it's insidious and subtle, sneaking up on you like a shadow. It could be that coworker who conveniently forgets to loop you into a critical email chain, effectively sidelining your contributions. Or your romantic partner who brushes off your deepest feelings with a casual, "You're overthinking it," invalidating your emotions in one fell swoop. Even a supposed friend might turn you into the punchline of their joke at a gathering, masking cruelty as humor. At its core, here's the psychological mechanism driving it all. Disrespect is fundamentally a calculated power play, as explained by Dr. Robert Alberti in his seminal book, Your Perfect Right: Assertiveness and Equality in Your Life and Relationships. These acts are deliberate attempts to diminish your social status in order to artificially inflate their own. It's rarely ever truly about you or your actions. It's a reflection of their inner insecurities, their desperate need to feel bigger by making you feel smaller. Let's break this down with a vivid, relatable example to drive the point home. Imagine you're in a high-stakes team meeting, pouring your heart into presenting an innovative idea you've spent weeks refining. Suddenly your boss interrupts abruptly, not to build on it, but to credit the concept to another team member entirely, stealing your thunder right before your eyes. In that moment, most people either freeze up in shock or lash out defensively, which ironically only cedes more ground to the disrespecter, amplifying their perceived dominance. But why do so many of us fall into this trap time and again? The answer lies in our evolutionary wiring for social harmony. A landmark 2019 study published in the prestigious journal Nature Human Behavior revealed that our brains are hardwired to prioritize group acceptance and avoid direct confrontation, releasing stress hormones like cortisol that make us hesitate or back down instinctively when we sense an attack on our status. This biological response, while useful in ancient tribal settings for survival, leaves us vulnerable in modern social arenas. Now, here's where the real aha moment kicks in. The realization that can shift your entire perspective. Disrespect only holds power because you unwittingly grant it permission to. The instant you reframe it as a tactical maneuver, rather than a personal indictment of your value, you strip away its sting and start reclaiming control. To build this recognition muscle, begin actively noticing recurring patterns in your interactions. Ask yourself probing questions. Does this individual only unleash their disrespect when there's an audience present, feeding off the validation? Do they zero in on your known insecurities, like your appearance, career choices, or past mistakes, to hit where it hurts most? Take a practical step right now. Grab a notebook or your phone and jot doubts. In one specific instance of disrespect you've endured recently, dissecting it like a detective. What was the context? What might their motive have been? Seeing these patterns clearly isn't just insightful, it's the foundational step to systematically dismantling their influence over you. Pattern interrupt. The host snaps their fingers sharply, creating a crisp sound effect that jolts the viewer, then smiles knowingly. Got that locked in your mind? Excellent. Now let's ensure that disrespect never lands a painful blow on you again. Time to fortify your defenses. With recognition firmly in your arsenal, it's time to move to active protection, safeguarding your dignity in the heat of the moment without descending into emotional chaos or visible rage. The objective here is crystal clear: neutralize their aggressive power play instantaneously, turning the tables while maintaining your composure like a seasoned strategist. To equip you fully, I'm sharing 3 robust, bulletproof strategies that you can deploy the very second disrespect rears its head, each backed by science and proven in real-life confrontations. 1. The power pause. This is your secret weapon for reclaiming the narrative. When someone interrupts you rudely or belittles your input, resist the urge to fire back immediately. Instead, institute a deliberate pause of 3 to 5 seconds, locking eyes with them in a steady, unflinching gaze, and allow the weight of silence to envelop the room. Why does this work so brilliantly? Pioneering research from UCLA's Department of Psychology highlights how prolonged silence triggers acute discomfort in the aggressor's mind, compelling them to break it themselves and often exposing their insecurity. For a practical script, try this exact phrasing in action. If someone cuts you off mid-thought, pause, tilt your head ever so slightly with a neutral expression, and dumbly state, "I wasn't quite finished with my point. Go ahead and share yours. I'll wait patiently." Watch as they fidget and squirm under the pressure, their momentum shattered. 2. The reframe question. Turn their verbal jab into a boomerang by redirecting it with a pointed question that forces them to reveal their hand. For instance, if a colleague sneers, "That's a cute little idea, but it won't work in the real world," respond with a composed smile and counter, "That's an interesting perspective. What specific aspects make you believe that?" This technique compels them to substantiate their disrespect, frequently uncovering flimsy logic or personal bias, all while keeping you above the fray. It's a subtle way to make them defend their position, shifting the spotlight onto their weaknesses. 3. The boundary anchor. Establish clear limits without escalating into conflict, anchoring your self-respect like an immovable rock. When faced with a snarky remark, such as, "You're always so overly sensitive about everything," reply firmly yet neutrally, "I don't appreciate comments that undermine like that. Let's ensure our conversation remains respectful and productive." Your tone is key. Keep it even, devoid of anger, to avoid giving them ammunition. Comprehensive studies, including a meta-analysis in the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology, indicate that setting such boundaries reduces the likelihood of repeat disrespectful incidents by up to 60%, as it signals you won't tolerate erosion of your dignity. Implement these, and the transformation is immediate. You'll sense an internal shift, evolving from a passive target into an empowered controller of the situation. Don't just nod along. Commit to practice. Select one strategy today, anticipate a potential disrespectful encounter in your routine, and test it out deliberately. You'll be genuinely astonished at how quickly these techniques shift the dynamic in your favor. The moment you execute one of these strategies, you're no longer reacting. You're commanding the interaction or the silent authority. Host claps hands sharply, the sound cutting through the audio, then leans in with a conspiratorial grin. But here's the thing. Protection is just the foundation. Why settle for merely defending yourself when you can rise above and completely dominate the power dynamic? Let's elevate to the next level: mastery. Welcome to the pinnacle: mastery. This is where you transcend being a mere player in the game of social dynamics and become the one who sets the rules. This is where Niccolo Machiavelli's genius shines brightest, teaching us that true power lies not in reacting to provocations, but in controlling the entire chessboard of human interaction. At this level, you're not just neutralizing disrespect, you're making it unthinkable for anyone to ever cross you again. Here are 3 advanced techniques to cement your position as untouchable, each designed to flip power dynamics permanently in your favor. 1. The status shift. Subtly reposition yourself as the authority in any interaction, rendering the disrespecter irrelevant. For example, if someone disrespects you in a group setting, say by dismissing your input during a discussion, don't engage them directly, as that validates their attack. Instead, turn to the group with calm authority and say, "Let's refocus on what drives results here. Here's the plan moving forward." This maneuver sidelines the aggressor, positions you as the leader, and subtly communicates that their behavior is beneath your notice. A 2020 study in the Journal of Social Influence found that redirecting group attention in this way increases your perceived status by 65%, making you the focal point of respect. 2. The silent leverage. Embrace Machiavelli's principle of economy of action. Do less, observe more, and strike strategically. When someone disrespects you, don't confront them immediately. Instead, catalog their behavior, noting their patterns and weaknesses. Then wait for a moment when they need something from you, a favor, input, or support. At that point, wield your leverage calmly. For instance, if a coworker habitually undermines you, then later asks for your help on a project, respond with, "I'm happy to contribute, but I need to feel valued in our discussions first. Let's ensure we're on the same page." This approach, rooted in game theory, forces them to reassess their behavior to gain your cooperation, shifting the power balance in your favor. 3. The prestige effect. Cultivate an aura of untouchability through controlled, deliberate presence. Speak less but with weight, maintain strong posture, and exude calm confidence in every gesture. A 2021 study in Social Psychology Quarterly revealed that individuals who project controlled strength, a combination of minimal verbal output, steady eye contact, and relaxed but upright body language, are 80% less likely to be targeted for disrespect. Think of it like a lion in the wild. It doesn't need to roar to command respect. Its mere presence does the work. Practice this in the mirror. Stand tall, shoulders back, and practice delivering a single sentence with deliberate slowness. You're not just reacting to disrespect. You're reshaping how the world perceives you, making it clear you're not to be trifled with. Mastery is what separates the truly powerful from everyone else. It's the difference between surviving disrespect and ensuring it never happens again. Ask yourself this right now. Who in your life needs to learn that crossing you comes with consequences? That's your target. That's where you apply these techniques to rewrite the rules of engagement. You're no longer at the mercy of others. You're the one they answer to. Let's bring this silent revenge strategy to life with 3 practical, relatable scenarios you're likely to face in your daily world, whether at work, in social circles, or even within your own family. For each, I'll show you the old you response, the one that leaves you feeling small, and contrast it with the new you, using the techniques we've just covered. These are immediately actionable, so pick one to try this week and watch the transformation unfold. Scenario 1. Workplace disrespect. Old you. You're in a team meeting, presenting a carefully crafted proposal. A colleague interrupts with a condescending, "That's not realistic, let's move on." In the past, you'd shrink, mumble an apology, or stay silent, letting your idea die and your confidence with it. The room moves on, and you're left feeling invisible. New you. Deploy the power pause. Stop speaking. Hold direct eye contact with the interrupter for a full 5 seconds, letting the silence amplify their discomfort. Then, calmly say, "I wasn't finished presenting my point. Let me wrap this up, and then we can discuss." Next, use the status shift. Turn to the group and state, "Here's why this approach drives measurable results for our goals." Outcome: your colleague backtracks, visibly rattled, while the room shifts its attention to you as the leader. You've not only neutralized the disrespect, but established yourself as the one steering the conversation. Practice this in your next meeting. It works instantly. Scenario 2. Social slight. Old you. You're at a social gathering, maybe a dinner or party, and a friend makes a backhanded compliment like, "Wow, you're so brave for wearing that outfit. I'd never have the guts." The group laughs and you force a smile, feeling humiliated, but pretending it's fine. Inside, you're shrinking, questioning your choices. New you. Use the reframe question to flip the script. Smile confidently and respond, "That's such an interesting comment. What exactly did you mean by that?" This puts them on the spot, forcing them to explain their jab in front of everyone. Then anchor a boundary. "I choose outfits that make me feel great, and I love keeping the vibe positive here. Let's do that." Outcome. The group sees your strength, the aggressor stumbles over their words, and you've set a clear standard for respect. Try this at your next social event. You'll feel the shift immediately. Scenario 3. Family undermining. Old you. You're at a family gathering, and a sibling dismisses your career path with a snide, "You're still doing that little side hustle of yours." You either argue defensively, escalating tension, or withdraw, feeling invalidated. Either way, you lose ground. New you. Opt for silent leverage. Don't engage in the moment. Instead, observe their behavior and wait for an opportunity. Later, when they ask for your advice or a favor, like help with a resume or a connection, respond calmly. "I'm happy to help out, but I need our conversations to feel supportive first. Let's talk about how we can respect each other's paths." Then, reinforce with the prestige effect. Maintain calm, confident body language throughout the discussion. Outcome. Your sibling rethinks their approach, realizing their disrespect has consequences, and you've reset the dynamic for good. Test this at your next family event. It's a game changer. These scenarios aren't hypothetical. They're moments you face regularly. Pick one technique, apply it in a real situation this week, and watch how quickly the power shifts in your favor. You're not just reacting anymore, you're rewriting the entire script of how others treat you. You're already seeing the world differently, aren't you? But with great power comes great responsibility. Let's talk about how to wield this ethically. What you've just learned is nothing short of a psychological superpower. You now possess an edge that 99% of people will never grasp. A way to see through the veil of disrespect, neutralize it, and command respect without ever raising your voice. But let me be crystal clear. This knowledge is a tool for protection, not a weapon for manipulation. Machiavelli himself warned in The Prince that power, when misused, breeds resentment and rebellion. Your goal isn't to become the bully who disrespects others. It's to shield your dignity and create a life where you're untouchable in the face of those who would diminish you. You're now part of an elite minority who understands the hidden game of social dynamics, a chessboard where every move is calculated, every gesture deliberate. As Machiavelli famously said, "The lion cannot protect himself from traps, and the fox cannot defend himself from wolves. One must therefore be a fox to recognize traps, and a lion to frighten wolves." You've become both, cunning enough to spot disrespect and powerful enough to make it irrelevant. Use this wisely to protect yourself and those you care about, and you'll find that respect follows you like a shadow. Pattern interrupt. Host points directly at the camera, voice rising with conviction. You're not the same person who clicked on this video 22 minutes ago. You're ready to face any slight with silent, unshakable power. Let's seal this transformation. You are not the same person you were when this video began. In just 24 minutes, you've unlocked the hidden mechanics of disrespect, how it operates, why it wounds, and most importantly, how to dismantle it with surgical precision. You're no longer the victim who shrinks under snide comments or dismissive gestures. You're the victor who controls the frame, turning very slight into an opportunity to showcase your strength. You see the game now, the subtle power plays, the unspoken rules, and you hold the playbook to win it. This is only the beginning of your journey. In my next video, I'm diving deeper into how to spot manipulators before they even make their first move, giving you an even greater edge. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and tap the bell icon so devoured by those who disrespect you, you're the one they'll think twice about crossing. Until then, hold fast to Machiavelli's timeless wisdom. Whosoever desires constant success must change his conduct with the times. You've changed today, my friend. Now go out there and own the game.